All right, good morning, traders. Today is November 5th, 2024. This is election day. All right, so good morning, traders. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody out there in digital land. Appreciate that. Appreciate your patronage to my channels, to my group, to my service. Everybody in the room, out of the room, appreciate that. Love it. Thank you. All right, my SPY pivot this morning, 570.20. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. SPY closed with a 2-hour downtrend, 10-minute downtrend. All of the Fab 5, except for Diamond Dow, are still in daily uptrends. SPY, QQQ, and FNGU, all three made lower highs and lower lows, closing underneath or beneath their bearish traps and under their 17 EMAs. IWM made an outside day, closing inside a bearish trap under the 17 EMA. Diamond Dow currently in a downtrend, made a lower high and a lower low, closing underneath a bearish trap underneath the 17 EMA. Gold and silver both in daily uptrends. Silver made a lower high and a lower low, closing below bearish trap and under the 17 EMA, while gold made a lower high and a lower low, closing under a bearish cross over the 17 EMA. UNG made a higher low and a higher high, closing inside a bearish trap under the 17. USO still in a downtrend, made a higher low and a higher high, closing over the bullish trap over the 17. And US dollar index still in an uptrend, closed near the 103.81 area. All right, it did pull back some, so we'll take a look at it a little bit later here. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at some charts today. Okay, so here's SPY. Here's our daily candle right here for SPY. Here's our quad lines for the move up. You can see we're still kind of close to being in the upper third. We were there for part of the day yesterday, and then we kind of fell out coming down here. If we break below this point right here, we'll be in a downtrend. SPY price action for yesterday, lower high, lower low, closing under the bearish trap. That's the 3 underneath the 8 EMA, underneath the 17. Okay, so that's SPY not in a downtrend, just lower high, lower low, closing under the trap and under the 17. Not a good sign there. All right, like to see it in the upper third. It didn't quite do it yesterday. Like to see it up in quadrant 4. Didn't even get close to that. All right, so there's SPY. On the 10-minute chart, we had, going into the close, 10-minute downtrend. Okay, on the 2-hour chart, going into the close, still got a 2-hour downtrend. All right, so all we need this morning is a red candle, okay, below the pivot, and that's an entry. As long as it's not a doji or a bottoming tail candle, as long as neither one of those or green candle on a 10-minute chart, that would be our entry below the pivot, 570.20. So anywhere down here, we're looking for that. We'll see what happens. Right now, things are kind of ratcheting up to the upside. All right, so let's take a look at QQQ on the daily chart. All right, QQQ on the daily chart, yesterday's price action, same as SPY and FNGU, lower high, lower low, closing under the trap, underneath the 17 EMA. Okay, so QQQ still in an uptrend here. All right, price action for FNGU. Price action is lower high, lower low, closing underneath bearish trap underneath the 17 EMA. FNGU still in an uptrend, just kind of consolidating over here. Taking out that low right there, but still kind of consolidating. Take out this low, they're in a downtrend. So there's FNGU. Price action for IWM. IWM putting in outside day, higher high, lower low, closing inside bearish trap underneath the 17 EMA. IWM still in an uptrend. Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow putting in a lower high and a lower low, closing underneath bearish trap underneath the 17 EMA. They took out this low right here. So they're in a downtrend. That's Diamond Dow. Let's take a look at it with the quad lines on right there. So there's Diamond Dow kind of holding the midpoint there. If I'd like to see them hold that, they lost the trend line. They're underneath the anchored VWAP, so price action for Diamond Dow. Just trying to hold on to this. A little bit of bullishness left in it. Breaking below that, I'm going to have to say bears have taken over control. All right, deep pullback, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days in a row. Okay, so supposedly NVIDIA is going to be added to the Diamond Dow. That's going to make a big change, and they're going to discard Intel. So that could be a huge move for Diamond Dow. I think that happens on the 20th or the 10th. That could cause a pop for Diamond Dow, adding NVIDIA into there and taking out Intel. Just saying. All right. So for our technicals, yesterday, okay, we went up, we challenged the midpoint, we couldn't make it through, we made a lower high from this point here, then we made a higher low, then we made another lower high, and then we made an equal low. So just kind of chopped around inside the seller's chop zone. Nothing bullish about yesterday at all, and the price action for T2122. On T2123, what did we get? More selling. If we get below this right here, they'll be in a downtrend. Price action for, you can see for yesterday, red from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. More space opening up between this rolling over 200 SMA and the price action. They went up. They gave it up. That's neutral. They go any further, that's going to be bearish. T2123. All right. Again, 3 more red candle bars there. And you can see the 200 SMA and the price action are starting to close in the space that was open before. You can see a lot of space open between 200 SMA here and price action way up there. So it's the same chart. It's just a 3-bar chart instead of the 15-minute chart. So you can see price action kind of melting into this. Be curious if we get any more. That would be major support there. I would expect a bounce today. I would expect, so don't know that we'll get it. Just keep your eyes on it. I think we may see a bullish engulfing at some point in here, and we'll see if they get follow through from a bullish engulfing candle on T2123. That will be bullish for the SPY. If we could get FNGU to kind of do the same thing, we'll see what happens. So here's FNGU for yesterday's price action. You can see a little bit of red, a little bit of green, a little bit of red, a little bit of green, and a little bit more red right there. Okay, so just in a bear flag, not a good sign. Moving down and over to the right, hanging out on top of this 50-yard line or the midpoint to the quad lines right there underneath the 200 SMA. Still bullish up here, okay? Not making any lower lows yet. So this is still bullish, FNGU on the 15-minute. Like to see it climb back up on top of that 200 SMA. Not sure if they can get that done. I'm looking at a wedge here, okay? So right from here and right here, right there. Looking at a wedge. So we're going to break out one way or the other. We'll find out soon, all right? So there's FNGU on the 15-minute chart. Watch for the breakout. Remember, if they break out to the north side, they got to contend with the flat 200. Now, they've been through it several times already. So not saying it's going to hold price back, but it certainly will make it pause for a couple candles. So there's FNGU. Let's go back and take a look at a few sectors. Let's see if I can find something here with Let's try this one. And let's move all of this down to the bottom. And we'll start out with sectors on the daily chart. We'll start out with SMH. And we want the scratch. All right, so SMH up over the prior all-time high, anchored VWAP, that's bullish. Up over the midpoint, that's kind of bullish. In the upper third, upper quadrant, that's more bullish. Making higher lows and higher highs, that's bullish. Everything's still bullish on SMH. Looking like a triple top, almost a head and shoulders right there. Just saying, and then we got a, well, it looks like another triangle going on right there if you saw that in the 15-minute chart. So there's SMH consolidating over there. Got a lower high. Not quite a lower low yet, but making a move up. We'll see if they can hold on to this area above this all-time high anchored VWAP. Let's take a look at XLK. XLK still bullish over the all-time high anchored VWAP, closing in the upper third. That's bullish. In the upper quadrant, that's even more bullish. Over the midpoints, that's still bullish. XLK still in an uptrend. SMH still in uptrend. Okay, 4 of the Fab 5 still in uptrends. And we are T2123 is on major support. So we should see a bounce today. We'll see what happens. I think there's a high probability we get a bounce today to the north side, especially on T2123. FNGU, not too clear about that one. So there's XLK. Let's take a look at XLF. XLF still bullish over a prior all-time high anchored VWAP. Trying to hang out in the upper third, not quite making it. But over the midpoint, that's bullish right there. So XLF still in an uptrend, making higher lows and higher highs. Let's take a look at XLI. XLI in a downtrend. They took out the low over here. So they're in a downtrend underneath. All-time high anchored VWAP and a prior all-time high anchored VWAP. So there's price action, trying to hold on to the upper third, not able to get it done. Over the midpoint, that's bullish, okay, but still in the bear trap underneath the 17, underneath the all-time high anchored VWAPs, and making a lower low. That's in a downtrend there for XLI, and that's probably contributing to the Dow falling right now. Let's take a look at XLU. These are utilities. Utilities also downtrend, taking out the low right here. Price action, you can see underneath prior all-time high and the all-time high anchored VWAPs, underneath this pivot low right here. Price action, not in the upper third, but over the midpoint. That's a little bit bullish. They could recover this. We'll see what happens. Right now, currently in a downtrend. So there's XLU. Nice move up there for the XLU. Let's take a look at XRT. This is our retail sector. Retail sector not giving us too many good clues other than the fact that it's gone up here and it's held this higher ground up here for the better part of 8 months, 9 months. And that's looking good. From the bottom of the channel to the top of the channel, you can see we're still hanging out over the midpoint, not quite in quadrant 4 or the upper third, but still nice move there. We're making higher lows and higher highs. That's nice, okay, but still leaning on the midpoint here. So there's XRT, our retail sector. And I'm kind of picking up on something just now. Kind of seeing, got kind of a slant going on right through there. We'll see what happens. Coming into earnings and Black Friday, I think we get a pop. I really do. I just hope it's not a false breakout. All right, so XRT, still bullish on XRT. Let's take a look at IYT. All right, here's transports. Up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. prior all-time high anchored VWAP, underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP, over the midpoint, still making higher lows and higher highs. This is still bullish, the transports. And thank God, because that's an important one. All right, without the transports, things don't get moved, things don't get stocked on the shelves. That's a big tell to what's going on in our economy. If the transports are in an uptrend, that's really important. That tells us products coming off the shelf and being shipped to consumers or shipped to businesses. Okay, so IYT up over that prior all-time high anchored VWAP. That's big, up over the midpoint of this move up. That's still big. So IYT still looking very good. Hey, good morning, Fido. All right, so let's go take a look at, what do we want to look at? We want to look at, oh, we didn't do silver and gold. Let's do silver and gold, precious metals. All right, silver, higher lows, higher highs. All right, still in an uptrend on silver. Okay, it's a nice daily uptrend right here. Gold. Gold making higher lows and higher highs, still in an uptrend. Okay. UNG, which made a new all-time low a couple days ago. Higher low, higher high, closing inside the bearish trap underneath a falling 17. Still in a downtrend. Okay, USO. USO as, I think that's today's candle. All right, if they take out this wick, they're in an uptrend. And let me see how close they came to it. Well, the high is 74.71. 74.65. Well, they just entered uptrend this morning. All right. Price action for USO, they were in a downtrend. So they're kind of breaking the downtrend line right here. See that? Okay. So got a higher low, higher high, closing over bullish trap over the 17 EMA and breaking the downtrend early in the morning here for USO. All right. So there's USO. We did the energy. We did the precious metals. Let's take a look at the economics package. All right, economics package. Let's take a look at the dollar first. Dollar closed right here. Not liking that tail candle right there. I prefer a nice solid red candle. Don't even like the color of the green. I like to see this red coming down. That's good. We closed right here about 103.81 area. All right, now max pain for today is going to be 574. And we have about one put, a little over one put for every call that expires today. So not much of a put squeeze on the table there today. Headed for max pain is 574. They may shoot for that. I don't know. Being since price action looking like major support will be tested on T2123. So we may get a pop to 574. We'll see what happens. I'll have to go look at the pre-market and see what they got going on there. And we did the dollar. And we'll take a look at the economic calendar. And we are on Tuesday. Okay, International Trade Goods and Services, 8:30. ISM Manufacturing Index, 10 o'clock. Treasury buyback announcement. And that's it for today. Wednesday, FOMC meeting begins. MBA mortgage applications at 7. PMI composite final 9:45. Petroleum report at 10:30. And some Treasury buyback results. Really light day here. Okay, light day Monday, light day Tuesday, light day Wednesday. Main event Thursday. All right. Jobless claims come out at 8:30. Productivity and cost comes out at 8:30. Wholesale inventories, 10 o'clock. Gas report, 10:30. And at 2 o'clock, the main event is the FOMC announcement. And then a little presser afterwards. It's about 2:30. And consumer credit comes out at 3. Fed balance sheet at 4:30 after the market closes. Okay, so it's all depends on if they're going to do a quarter point or a half point. I'll bet they do a quarter point. All right, whether it's baked into the market already, I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. On Friday, we got consumer sentiment at 10. Bauman's going to speak at 11. We got a rig count at 1. And Alberto's going to speak at 2:30. So that's it for the economic calendar. Main event is FOMC at 2 o'clock. So I don't know whether they're going to do a half a point or a quarter point. I'm kind of leaning on the. I gotta say, I'm kind of leaning on the quarter point. We'll see what happens. If they do a half point, I think that'll be a surprise for me. Anyways, all right. Earnings this week. Today, Tuesday, we got Ferrari. It's going to report this morning, 115 billion, and then just some more familiar names: Marathon Petroleum, Apollo Global. Okay, some just familiar names, but nothing that's really going to move the markets a whole lot. Cummins engines, you guys know about those. So again, familiar names, but nothing that's going to move the markets. Wednesday, Novo Nordisk, about $500 billion. They're going to report in the morning. Toyota Motor is going to find a time later on, 222 billion. Qualcomm, 184 billion. All right, they're going to report tomorrow night. ARM Holdings, 147 billion, also right alongside Qualcomm. Gilead Science, 111 billion. They're going to report alongside ARM and Qualcomm. Mercado Libre, 104 billion. They haven't decided what time they want to report yet. And CVS, 70 billion. They're going to report in the morning with Novo Nordisk. All right, so not too many big caps. I mean, Novo Nordisk is a big one, but nothing that's probably going to rip the markets into one direction or have a high influence on the price action. All right, so here's Thursday. Take a look at Thursday. We've got Arista Networks, 124 billion, and Airbnb, 87 billion. Duke Energy, again, Petro Brazil. Some familiar names, but nothing that's really going to move the markets a whole lot. Okay, on Friday, what do we got? We got Oryx Corporation, 25 billion. Okay, so nothing there. Familiar names, nothing that's going to move the markets a whole lot. Lamar Advertising, you guys see them. They're the billboards, Paramount Global. We watch them at night, all right? So Monday, what do we got? Grab Holdings, going to report in the evening. Again, nothing here. Over $100 billion. Again, everything here is familiar, probably, most of it. But it's not really going to move the markets a whole lot. So light week as far as earnings go. All right, so we'll see what happens. Next week, I think we got a big one coming out. We got NVIDIA. All right, so we'll see what happens here. Okay, just going to say we got the election. All right, like to get my results for the election, before 2 p.m. in the morning, So everybody out there in California, let's try to get the votes counted. All right, same as Arizona, New Mexico. All right, let's try to get this stuff counted. Let's not have any delays. If things are delayed and there's no results, the market does not like uncertainty, so we could dip a little lower. All right, well, just saying. That's a possibility. All right, so you got the marching orders. We're looking for a red candle to the downside on the top side for SPY. Let's take a look. Okay, remember over 70.20 is our trigger. So I'll move this down 70, 20, right about right there. Okay, so that right there is our pivot. Okay, right now we're above it. Okay, green erases red scenario begins at 571. Okay, 571 is a trigger into a long trade for SPY this morning. All right, underneath, down here, all we need is a red candle for the continuation of the 10-minute downtrend. All right, so that's it. All right, traders, I'll see you guys in about 45 minutes, and we'll kick off the markets. All right, so in 45 minutes, I'm going to go render my video. You got any questions, go ahead and drop them in there. And I'm going to take a little break here.